Thank
Frame
you,
9.
Hazel.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
And good afternoon, everyone at home. This could be something a bit special this afternoon. And it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who gets the first frame underway. Not the best break-off shot. He's left a half chance for Mark Williams into the right corner with the gap round the back. He did very well to win the last frame, to take that 2-frame advantage. It could quite easily have finished 4-all. Nice way to start, and purposely leaving the cue ball short so that he ensured he was on a balk colour. Good cueing.
Yeah, very good. I think that Mark will be annoyed that he was behind. As you say, 4-all would have, I think, with a fair scoreline. You don't always get what you deserve at this game, of course.
4.
Must have made a really good start. The second session, I always think, is the one where a player can really pull away from his opponent and put the match beyond doubt.
5.
That is an excellent stun run through. A couple of hours, 2 hours 18 minutes. It wasn't a slow session by any means yesterday.
There's the pot success rate. Look at Ronnie O'Sullivan sitting at 94%.
13.
It's great to see Doug Mountjoy here with Mark Williams. Doug plays in Mark's club in Tredegar. He's got a lovely snooker centre there, and Doug back playing again, and he's here with Mark.
Yeah, Doug played in the World Seniors where he lost to Cliff Thorburn. That was like old days. It was a late old finish as well. It was only a best of 3.
19.
Could have done with a better angle on the black here. He's limited to what he can do. He might have to leave a difficult one to the middle pocket, because it looks as if he's almost dead straight, so no point in screwing back. Oh, if he spotted a plant there, that would be a bonus, but there's a bit of distance between the reds. Well, look at that. That could well be on.
Yeah, certainly a late discovery. He's trying to find out if he's got any angle on this to punch through to get onto the 2 reds. I'm not sure it's guaranteed, though, the plant. There's a red sort of in between them. So he's having a long look. And it's a long time for Mark Williams, nearly a minute for this shot. It's either on or it's not. If you can get to it, then perhaps he'll play it.
26.
Yeah, it looks as if he fancies it, and the white will hit the other red, but he's still run through. He should fish on a colour if he can make that plant.
Mark Williams, 26.
As you mentioned, Neil, it wasn't the easiest of plants, and okay if you got in behind it. In fact, he caught the other red that you said was in the way. I'm surprised Mark didn't spot that. I know it's very early days in this match, but if you could open up a 3-frame advantage, even though it's a 3-session match, this match will finish tomorrow evening. It's a healthy lead, 3 frames.
Oh, that was lovely. That really was. He pinged that. Just a sign of a player hitting the ball. That is just not only the shot, because most players would fancy potting those, but just the nature of how he knocked it in.
He's got another new tip on, believe it or not. Les Dodd come down from Southport. Les, former, well, still professional player, but knows Ronnie very well. And Les put a new tip on, and Ronnie feels that this tip is absolutely superb. Let's see if it proves to be. And Les looking fantastic. He's lost almost 12 stone, Neil. He looks superb.
12 stone. Of course, he once was Slimmer of the Year, wasn't he, many years ago?
Well, he's won it again, if that's the case.
Don't usually win it 2 years in a row, I don't think that, because he'd be, you know, about 7 ounces.
4. Eleven. 12.
Even though he didn't make a century break yesterday, he looked
19.
terrific when he was in amongst the balls. He really did look very comfortable.
20.
Well, there's 3 reds still available. In fact, there'll be a few more reds available after this next shot.
27.
And if he can negotiate the positional side of it, he's going to open all those reds up.
28.
Just a few of them just seem to stick on each other now. I'm not sure if that one to the left and the back of the 4 is now on. He's got the other 2 loose reds. So that last little cannon didn't quite open them up as Ronnie was expecting. See, normally it sort of spread all the reds, but they just seem to stick on each other.
Table looks to be playing beautifully this afternoon. The cushions were redone overnight. So Martin Clark, tournament director, just making his late vigil into the crucible with a bit of food, because he would have been involved in that, getting everything right. Just feel that the table looks good. Sometimes it's O'Sullivan that makes it look good, like it's playing well, because he just is so classy.
42.
I think he'd make the game of snooker look easy if he played on a dining table, never mind a snooker table.
$43.
This is the key shot now. Just catch that red half ball would be perfect. Yeah, he doesn't want to catch that red full ball. He might just stick there. Just to... Now, is it available to the middle?
50.
I think he's just okay. Looking at Ronnie's face there.
$51.
Oh, he's really taken well. Now you've got a bit more work to do. The angle is on the black to get for the 2 reds. So 32 the difference, red colour
58.
and 1 more red.
$59.
Yeah, you're looking at one of the greatest break builders the game's ever seen. He's made 671 century breaks. And he's still just over 100 short of the
66.
greatest break builder that's ever played, Stephen Hendry. He's, I think it's about 760, something like that. That's the frame safe. You can concentrate on trying to make a century. It's a tricky head, but it will pass the green.
74.
Very good. The fact is, the standard is high already in this match too. It was all about one shot. It was just the plant that Mark Williams played, which went wrong. Perhaps the two reds were not
80.
in line with a red maybe in between them. That's
82.
the fine margin we're speaking about.
That's the plant you were talking about, Neil, and he just misjudged. But let's hope
85.
Ronnie can make the century. That'll be another £200 for the Haven House Hospice, our sponsors. Betfred, they're
89.
giving £200 for every century. This will be the 42nd century break.
94.
If they can get to 75 centuries, another, well, they'll meet up to £25,000. So come on, Ronnie, make sure you get the century. And there it is. The 42nd century in this year's World Championship. What a way to start. Mark Williams looked very, very good indeed. The risky didn't come off, and he had to sit in his seat and watch Ronnie O'Sullivan clear the table, and he goes 6-3 ahead.
Oh, it's all getting very exciting out there already, because on the other side of the table, Ken and John, we've been watching both monitors obviously, and that Judd Trump has started off in extremely positive fashion as well, and this was also a wonderful century from him. Nicely made too.
Synchronised potting it was. They kept getting all them on the green exactly the same time together, the brown, and a wonderful start for him. He's starting just to get warmed up now, Judd Trump.
Okay, well here he is. Well, Ken, we were wondering, there we are, break of 120, and it goes. We were wondering how his health and indeed how he'd be feeling today, and clearly not too bad is the answer.
Well, not too bad. He certainly answered the questions, and obviously he's feeling a little bit better. It's very unfortunate for someone like Judd Trump coming in. He is the favourite to get out of food poisoning, and Mark Selby as well. You know, as world #1 coming, the biggest tournament of the year, to be broken down with illness is very unfortunate. But hopefully, he's much better health today, and he can play the way we've seen him play last year.
Okay, well, I hope that you'll enjoy this, because we're going to be bouncing back and forward between these two teams. In fact, it was a pretty hard pick to see which one we were going to go with live this afternoon, John, wasn't it?
Oh, two fantastic matches, but what a break from O'Sullivan that was. It's interesting, he spoke to John Virgo, I think, the other day, saying the tip on his cue is absolutely fantastic. Les Dodd, who we all know as a snooker professional, came up, put a new tip on his cue. He's absolutely delighted with it, and you can tell from the way he's gone around there, some of the touch shots in that break were super.
Okay, back we go then.
A very classy break indeed from O'Sullivan. Up to 43 centuries now. That was that tip. Well, it looks like all the others to me from there, but I must admit, but if Ronnie's pleased with it, that says a lot, because I do remember that championship where, of course, he lost in the semi-finals, and, well, he was changing everybody's tip, I think he used at some point.
I forget the number. I remember him biting the tip off as he left the arena. He just couldn't get set with the tip, but different days.
He's saying about the amount of centuries, 42 became 43 there, dead heat almost, Dennis, from table to table, with Judd Trump making one. So, it's been a real standard, as he proved, I guess, even if that's possible. And that is a marvellous shot again. Ronnie with all the shots in the book. A classy century and a brilliant safety shot.
He doesn't want to stick around this, and I think he's going to leave it. That's careless from Mark Williams. He might have to go back and sit in his seat for, well, who knows how long. The way Ronnie O'Sullivan played in the open frame, he could be sat there for a while.
1.
Mind you, even if he does clear the table, you're not sitting in your seat that long. Look at the average shot time, 17 seconds. Mark Williams is only at 19.
Eight. 9.
The pot success has gone up from 94%. Usually you'd think that it can only go down from there. But he's better today even. 91% tournament, but Since then, he's got this new tip on that he's
60.
pleased with, and it means something to most players, but Ronnie isn't often happy with everything about the conditions and about his own
70.
game. Saying that about the conditions, he very rarely complains about tables, actually. It's not really his thing. But if he's happy, then everyone's in trouble.
Yeah, people might think, well, a box of tips, they're all the same, but you could have a box of tips and you'd be very lucky to get maybe 10 really good ones.
$23.
Yeah, and of course, if you remember the year that he changed his tip all those times, when eventually he got beat in the semi-finals, he gave his cue away and case to somebody in the audience. Only Ronnie O'Sullivan would do something like that.
Well, I think there's very few players would come to the World Championship and even think about changing a tip. They usually prepare the weeks beforehand to have one just right, but he's such a natural player, it doesn't matter. He just picks the cue up with a new tip on and gets on with it.
$29.
He's 400 points more than Mark Williams at the moment. Now, is there a 3-ball plant? Well, look at that. For a moment, I thought there was no position available.
Well, it still had to be got. He still had to get the first red on full onto the second. But he is hitting the ball like a dream this afternoon. I should think Mark Williams is a little bit worried.
36.
As great a player as he is, he knows when O'Sullivan is at his best, he's tough to hold.
7.
And it doesn't help that his record in recent years is not good. It's over a decade since he's beaten him.
$44. 45. $52.
Well, the first frame lasted just over 10 minutes. That magnificent 107 break, and all Mark's done wrong. He was in a tough snooker and slipped around the back of the red. That has gone slightly wrong.
60.
Can still pop this in the middle pocket, but I don't know if he can avoid canning into the edge of the reds there. He's looking at the other one to cut it back in because he's 64 in front. He's taking the slightly more difficult pot. I don't think there is any difficult pots at the moment for Ronnie O'Sullivan. What a start. And in a matter of under 20 minutes, he's going to take the first 2 frames here this afternoon.
Just needs one more red, but he doesn't see missing what we're watching today.
$69.
Well, I'm not a betting man, Neil. I know you like your odds and that, but Betfred were offering 6-1 against 5 centuries been made this afternoon. We've already had 2. Oh, that might have spoiled the second one.
74.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a century now. As far as the frame is concerned, I don't see Mark Williams continuing because it's not really his thing to carry on.
74.
Well, there you are, the shot. 78 in and 67 on. Mark Williams wants 3 snookers, but he does continue. It looks very much like 7-3.
Yes, I don't blame Mark for trying to get some sort of rhythm going.
Yeah, I guess that's what it would be. because Mark is anything more than one snooker. He's usually happy to sit in his chair and start the next frame. Of course, he's not out of the match, no way, but he will need to get something happening quite soon.
Nine.
Be interesting to see if he just clears up here. I think the way the balls are situated, he might try for the snookers, because the brown's in a good position near the green, and he'll leave a red with the pink. Well, it doesn't matter which of those reds he leaves, they'll be in a good
60.
snookering position. I think he's missed this one.
Yeah, well, he concedes immediately.
16,
Well,
yeah.
yes, Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's happy to accept his concession, and Ronnie looks tremendous this afternoon. He's now leading Mark Williams 7-3.
I think we'd agree with that, Neil, certainly. And actually, when you look at the head-to-head between these two men, it really is emphatically in favour of O'Sullivan, isn't it? 23 wins to 7 over their encounters over the years. And in fact, Mark hasn't beaten Ronnie in any event since 2002, fully a decade. And that's quite stark, those statistics, John, isn't it?
Yeah, Mark sort of lost his game for a little bit, didn't he? I remember when he won all 4 BBC events, and he thought who's going to beat him, and then he had a dip in his form. He was in trouble because he was with me in qualifying at Prestatyn, so he definitely lost his form there. So he wasn't playing well enough to compete with Ronnie over that period, and then the last few years he's got it back again. But listen, O'Sullivan's so difficult to play against, and especially when he's hitting the ball like that. As Neil said in commentary, he's hitting it like a dream today.
Yeah, when you actually look at their respective eras, as it were, I mean, albeit that they have obviously overlapped. You look at Mark winning the world title 2000, 2003, Ronnie 2001, 4 and 8. So they've kind of missed one another in some respects, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I mean, it's amazing. We've seen a few amazing statistics this week with, with Hendry, Higgins, the first time they'd ever met in the Crucible, even though they have 11 World Championships between them. But that is an unbelievable statistic. I mean, 10 years to not beat one opponent. And well, the two of them are, as you said, overlapping their careers is quite amazing. But as John said, when Ronnie is in such form, he's a hard man to stop.
Yeah.
And when he gets on a run like that, I mean, those first couple of games just sublime, absolutely sublime.
The trouble is, as well, the scoreboard changes so quickly. You don't feel as if you're involved in a match. All of a sudden, 5-3, 6-3, 7-3. Don't feel as if you've done a lot wrong. You just sit there and watch it change.
Yeah, exactly. And from Ronnie's perspective, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames in a row between last session and this. And Williams clearly struggling to get the hand on the table.
Yeah, he has it all to do.
Yeah, very good point, Hazel. 5 frames in a row, Ronnie's won, with breaks of 48, 86, another 48, 107 and 74. Mark's got to try and make something happen here, but you can't just sort of have a go at anything. Might be able to take the putt on here, just cued across it slightly. It was worth the risk. The only one he would leave was the one he was trying. Just wondering if Ronnie might just be tempted with this one. He wouldn't leave a great deal. Wasn't far away, but the only red he could leave was the one he attempted. And when it cannoned the yellow, it's given Mark a chance. Now, he'd probably play to get on the green or brown here to get into the bunch, rather than the blue. Let's have a look what angle he has.
1.
He's gone a bit too far. No angle now to get into the bunch. He wanted to leave brown and then come off the side cushion, split the pack. And if he takes the green, that's quite an ambitious shot to split the reds. He looked at it. Well, that's a great effort. That was a great effort. He had so much side on that
3.
when he played the pot in the middle. He's running side and he's stuck in the reds. Very unlucky.
Touching ball.
Well, at least it was
Mark
touching,
Williams,
so he
3.
could just play away from it. But that was a great effort from the yellow to split the bunch. Terrific amount of right-hand side, and he just hit the second cushion. And into the reds. Very unlucky.
Interesting shot. He clearly wasn't interested in the playing the half ball red to the corner pocket. He thought that was beyond him. Trouble is, he didn't shift the red away from the pocket very far. He got the cue ball back. So it was a strange one.
This will test his cue action here. Very good. Excellent. I think with Ronnie's shot, he hit it far too thin, Neil, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so, but Mark has played some good shots in this frame already. He was, as Dennis said, unlucky not to break them from the yellow. And that is often the case when the chances come along, you feel you've got to take them. And already he's got awkward cueing on the black. Don't know what he can get to from the pack if he just rolls in the pink. Is it another dreaded plant? He's missed one already. Don't know if the two reds go to the left corner. There's enough space between them to make it into a plant. Yeah, from where the cue ball is, you would fancy him. He's got to hit the first red almost straight on.
Well, that kick, believe it or not, the red jumped after the plant, but it has opened a few up. That's okay. It's so important here for Mark Williams to possibly make a frame-winning break, just to let Ronnie O'Sullivan know that he's around here.
13.
First two frames have been all about Ronnie.
He's looked at playing a gentle cannon from this. I don't think he's going to go into them very hard. That's the red he wanted to play the cannon on. That is a lovely shot. That's exactly what he played.
18.
Yeah, it's one of those shots we said about Mark. He floats the ball into the pocket.
19.
Well, this is snooker at a very high standard
26.
between two great players. 5 world titles between them.
27.
Now, he's purposely left the angle on this. I think the reds are pretty much tied up. Might not be too bad. It's not perfect by any means, but as a left-hander, he might be able to reach that red. It's very close up, though, and it would one of these that, well, you could push if you're not careful. Double hit or something.
I'm not sure what he's looking at there, but he's very close to it, as Neil said. It's, well, even though he's quite a tall lad, Mark, this is awkward to get to. Very unlucky there at sticking the reds like that. Yeah, it's not even straight. I'll just show you again. Very unfortunate to stick in them, but you'd think he'd get the spider out rather than try and. I mean, he's not right down the shot here. No. Well, look at where the balls are sitting here. 37, and just that little bit of bad luck when going into them. And Ronnie, well, we know the form he's in. This is another good chance.
I think he was slightly in denial about that shot. It was just too difficult, wasn't it? But he refused to take a backward step and just drop into reds. He played it, couldn't get on the black, but it looks like it's going to cost him the frame, the way O'Sullivan's been. The angle he played it at wasn't quite the potting angle, but he didn't want to push it.
Eight. Nine.
Yeah, he really stretched for that. I thought he might have. Look at that. It's such an awkward
60.
shot. I suppose if he was a spider, he felt he might have pushed it.
17.
Well, we all know the problem here. They're near the cushion.
$24.
It does appear that that is the only obvious problem here, because we've seen how well
25.
Ronnie is queuing today. Breaks of 107 and 74 already this afternoon, and just a possibility that he might go into the two reds. Yep, because he's got one to the left middle. Classy again from O'Sullivan.
Nearly carried on with the shot, but he did that against Peter Ebden a couple of times. Sort of changed his mind while he was down on the shot, and that's the worst possible thing you could do. It's like golf. If you change your mind, step away, and then step back again.
$41.
I mean, the one to the left side of the table is not too badly placed.
$36.
Well, whichever way you look at it, you will need all four reds, even though the three,
47.
now two, and this black with it, are in open play. As Dennis said, the one on the left is, you can get on that. The one on the right, as a right-handed player, he could roll down the cushion, but it's still got to be done.
Well, he's looking at taking the chance here to pot it. If the pink had been in the spot, it would have been a little bit
44.
easier. If he does risk moving it here, you've got to be careful.
45.
See, if the pink was on his spot, he was in perfect position. Now he's knocked that red fairly safe, and the angle he has on the blue, not good to get in between those two reds. Well, what about this for a shot? If he misses the black, I mean, I'll tell you what, he must be so confident with that tip to play a shot like that. He didn't even hit it that hard, and look where he's got the cue ball from this position. Absolutely amazing.
Timing was brilliant, wasn't it? And that's the kind of shot I remember when he first turned professional. Was a really young man. He was knocking those in, those blues, screwing the ball around the table. This looks the more difficult red to me, the one he's playing.
Yeah, back into a blind pocket.
No problem at all. Beautifully played. I don't suppose he'll get any better on the red than where he won the last shot. So, again, still got work to do. This is not guaranteed. Going to use a lot of power here. Oh dear, that's the first one he's missed, and there was more needed on that
51.
shot than all the others.
Well, he didn't have his hand on the table there. He was bridging on the cushion, and that didn't help his cause, as you can see. So what a shot is faced with here. Can Mark Williams knock this long red in? Well, at least it's gone safe, but
It wasn't a nice angle, was it? It was one of those, if he pots it, he's cue ball's going towards the side cushion unless he hits it harder than he would have been comfortable with.
Well, does he take the double on? There's an easy snooker available to him. He's played the snooker. It's going to have to be the green. Played to snooker and behind the brown and pick. And that's a bit of a bonus. Because just looking at it, the middle pocket's in the way slightly. You'll have to get a lot of side on this. He obviously can't see enough of this red to send it around the angles. He can only hit the right-hand side of it. Having to swerve it slightly. Oh, this is a good shot. From that position, he judged that to perfection.
I just wonder if he can get in behind the black here with the cue ball. He'd be worried about pushing the red near one of the right-hand pockets, though. And he's played it pretty well without doing so. The red was always the worry, whether he's got any cover or not, and he's quickly round to have a look.
I think you can see enough of this. It's a tough pot. Okay, the brown's now near the corner pocket, but need to cue these well. Where is it going to finish up?
It was a horrible shot, wasn't it? It's one of those you don't like. The kind of situation you feel like when he should get a snooker here, but it's not as straightforward as it first looks. And if it is, it's a very simple snooker that Mark should have no trouble from escaping.
Well, he'll settle for that. Although Ronnie is looking at the potting angle. Mark intended to knock that red up somewhere near the black spot area. Looks as if he's having a go at this. And once again, just hitting that quite easy. Look at the action he's got on the cue ball. Quick look at the scoreboard. 15 in front. Just needs the yellow and green, and it's 3 in a row this afternoon.
5.
It'll be 6 frames in a row if he, or when he knocks yellow and green in. No point in saying if, the way they're sitting.
7. 10.
Now you see the difference, 24. Thought he might have played that a little bit harder, and then he could have got an snooker behind the pink. Because Mark won't concede. Black's in a good position for the snooker that he'll need. He'd love to be able to knock the pink onto the cushion, but can't do it from that situation.
Thank you. Rory O'Sullivan, 10.
So bar not snooker. That's another frame for Ronnie. That makes absolutely sure.
$15.
Worrying times for the Welshman Mark Williams. That's 6 frames in a row that Ronnie O'Sullivan has taken with the aid of a 51 break. He now leads 8 frames to 3.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, as you saw, ranking-wise, down to 30 in the world. Don't think that's on
As quiet as possible,
ability.
please. Frame 12, Mark Williams to break.
He basically hasn't played in all of the tournaments. That's the reason for it. Anyone that thinks he's outside the top 8 on ability, there's not much snooker, because he still is as good as ever. He doesn't do it every day, but today, very much a going day. He looks superb. And there's a long way between the two players now. 5-frame cushion. Okay, it could end up 8-all, but it seems a long way off, doesn't it, that Mark would win all 5 frames. Ronnie could really put this match away this afternoon. Form he's in.
Well, he thought he would leave that red that he took on safe, but it's not.
One.
The red that's just behind the bunch is available. Depends when Mark wants to go into the pack. Left himself purposely low on this, so this will bring a few to play, but he's got to make sure he doesn't let the cue ball drift to the cushion when he opens them up.
7.
That's not where he wanted the cue ball. Might be able to, well, he's not even looking at it. He might be able to drop the black in and leave the white just below the left mid pocket, and he will have the red to the right of the bunch available. Good cueing, and he's on that red. I think maybe he's not hit it hard enough. Oh, that's a bit careless. He put everything in the pot, which you can't blame him for. Only needed another 2 to 3 inches.
Well, he's playing
Mark
a
Williams,
fairly
14.
simple safety shot there. Mark's often been one to put the cue balls down in the corners rather than in behind a bolt colour. Don't think he could afford to take the risk and open the reds up any more. Always worth checking out any plants that's on there. Ronnie doesn't see anything. 2 reds at the bottom are fairly close to the right-hand corner. Couldn't quite get to those. I think Mark can get to them, possibly. Perhaps a little bit too thin, but those 2 might interest him. If he's playing a safety shot, perhaps in behind the yellow this time. That's a weak safety this time from Mark Williams. He's not so much that he's left a pot on. He just feel that Ronnie might be able to get into more trouble.
Yeah, most players have a nice little game plan on these long matches. You play them in little mini sessions, and you've got 3 in your mind. And if you could win all 4, well, that would be a bonus. Well, Ronnie O'Sullivan could possibly win all 4 of this first session here this afternoon. Green and brown now slightly better placed than behind. Well, it looks as if he might be able to cue past the yellow and take this pot on. He's got a straightforward safe shot off the red to the left of the black, and he's kept Mark Williams away from the table, but he's cueing so well he must fancy this. Not a bad change of plan. And he's turned round and got down and didn't put everything into the safety. Just coming up to, well, 3 hours now.
That is a very good safety shot. He congested over one side of the table. So Ronnie's got to find an escape plan. He's got a red. I think he can swing the cue ball across to the left, coming the other side of the black. Oh, well, he was meant to come to the left of the black directly. Went straight into it. It looks really disappointing, but it's one of just a couple of mistakes he's made all afternoon. Can't get every shot right all the time. And it was troublesome, Dennis.
Yeah, it was. And there's a chance, Mark, to get out to the pink here.
1.
I mentioned with our little chat before the match started here this afternoon with John Parrott that if there was any scrappy frames you'd fancy Mark Williams. He's a great break builder, loves to be in the ball, but if the balls go a little awkward, he's a past master at winning that type of frame, and they have gone a little awkward here. Black was knocked up next to the blue with that poor safety shot from Ronnie. And now that the pink's back on its spot, it's going to be tied up somewhat. So it's not a good chance by any means here.
7.
I don't know if that red to the right of the pink would be available into the right corner in a few shots' time. That would clear the pink.
Eight.
Didn't quite get into that as he intended. He could only play for green or brown here. Brown's the better shot to get back up to the reds. It was very awkward. Only just having a glance up at the monitor. You can't always see how the balls finish when you're more or less level with the table.
Mark Williams, 12.
A similar shot to the one that Ronnie got a little bit wrong last time. All the action is on one side of the table, all those reds there. And the problem is getting the path back to the bulk area. We've seen that he's got it wrong once. And he's further over with the cue ball to the right, but even then, this is a similar problem. He could possibly play to get the cue ball to the black end this time. It's not really his style. Sometimes you have to play containing shots, and that's what he's doing. The problem with that is you feel that even though he hasn't left a pot, he's going to be in more trouble the next shot, because Mark should get him in somewhere in behind the green, looking to get over on the same side of the table, or taking on something to the left middle. Well, he is very good at those shots, I have to say. And Dennis pointed out earlier, he just drops the ball in, doesn't he, very slowly, and he's an absolute master at that.
Yeah, he thought he was going to stay on the green, and it just kept on going, the white. That's the
Mark
reason
Williams, 1.
for the safety. And he's blocked the path down the left side of the table again. So 27-point advantage. That's what he's looking at. He can't see enough of that red past the pink to get back down the table, and there's no escape route. Even Hawkeye can't see a way back down the table.
Again, a good contain shot. This time nothing to pot to the middle pocket. Mark just tries to get Ronnie in more trouble. He doesn't want to hit the green. Could have been worse for O'Sullivan, that.
Yeah, he hasn't left anything, but he's left a chance for Ronnie to put Mark in trouble now. And this time it's Ronnie's turn to block the path round the left side of the table. There's a possible pot here, and he might be able to swing the cue ball around, but it's a risky one. Oh, he's going to leave some sort of tempter. I'm not sure about that shot, Mark.
I'm just thinking about these two. I can't remember too many tactical frames they've ever played. This looked like going that way, and Ronnie has won that battle, because, like you say, the shot that Mark played there didn't seem on. And he's left him a good opportunity. Not even a half chance this, the way that he can get down for the pink. 27-point advantage when Ronnie came to the table. Looks a small, slender lead to me. This was the shot he played. He obviously caught it too thin. Tried to get the cue ball close to the corner pocket. Well, Ronnie just having a look as if he's okay. I think the two reds part could do a lot of scoring around the pink spot this time. This could be enough to win the frame, you feel. Ronnie doesn't rely on scoring around the black. He's very good at it, but he can score in the centre of the table equally as effectively. Now the problem here, he leaves a bit of an angle, so I don't know whether he can just hold for the pink again, or whether he has to play on a different colour. He'd like to have stayed around the pink spot. The blue and the black are a little bit tied up. Can get on them both, but it wouldn't be easy. Playing it safe up onto guaranteed position on one of the bulk colours. Not a bad nudge on the brown. He may be interested in that. If not, it's the green.
Yeah, when you're playing well, you get all the nice little nudges, and this is a nice nudge on the brown. He can pot that, and he'd like to drop on the reds closest to the pink. Be a little bit too strong, but he had choices. He played for the 2 next to the pink. The pink's available, so he can screw back on it from here. He's got into that too. He's queuing so well. He hit that. He hit that too well, believe it or not. He's still on the pink, but not the angle that he wanted. Just a delicate little cannon here. He should be able to push one out of the way and the other. Played perfectly.
Yes, absolutely what he had in mind there.
26.
Looks slightly ominous, this situation.
27.
Getting top side of the pink and 2 reds that pot to the left corner. The same pocket he's taking in this pink. He's still up to 95%. And players have made those kind of pot success. It's hard to see them not winning a match. He's just thinking about scores and what reds he'll need. That was why he just paused there. Just wondering whether he'll need both of the reds on the side cushion. A little bit sidetracked sometimes when you're thinking too deeply about the scores. Just got to keep his concentration.
You still look at the score. He's going to need the difficult red that's just by his cue there.
34.
Yeah, just looking at that, if my maths are correct, if he takes a pink with all of these, there will be 34 in it. That includes the red that's the furthest down on the
40.
right, which means he'll need the other red. If he could take the black somewhere, it would help, but I don't think he can.
41.
That's what he was thinking about, Dennis. This will be 20 in it, and it'll be 34 with the other 2 reds.
It looks as if he's going to have to leave that difficult red to
47.
the end. So this the pink, the other red, and then imperative. He gets an angle on
48.
the pink to move that difficult red. He could try and move it when potting this red, depending on the angle, but that wasn't available to him. So if he can get the correct angle on the pink, he might be able
54.
to bring that red that he's going to need to clinch the frame with this visit.
55.
Now, how's that? It looks pretty good to me. He might be able to just bring this into play. Well, he just stunned in behind it. That'll do. He doesn't have to worry about position here, Neil. Just float this in the pocket.
61.
That's the thing, isn't it? He doesn't need to worry about his colour, and I suppose that's why he played the shot rather than the cannon, which appeared to be on as well, as you say. That is what match snooker is all about, though. He thought that through a long way out, and while he couldn't really avoid requiring the red, the way that he played it was just to knock it in and nothing else. It does look good today. I mean, I've said that before, but just even this, it's not. It's a break that's made him think all the way through. Oh, lovely shot again. Lovely shot.
I think he's so comfortable with that new tip that he's got on the cue. He really is. And I'm sure Les Dodd's sitting at home watching this, and he must be very pleased with the way Ronnie's playing with the tip he put on for him.
O'Sullivan 68, Anderson.
Very good stuff from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's had a terrific afternoon so far. He's starting to surge away from Mark Williams, who's leading 9-3.